checking out the Roger Sanchez course from our friends at FaderPro. Wait a second, hold on, before we start. There we go. The track the S-Man takes you through is Dangerous Thoughts. There's a link to the track in the description. Check it out, and if you like what you hear, stop watching this video and head on over to FaderPro.com to take the course. I highly recommend it, especially for the S-Man fans out there. Before you do, I have an exclusive discount code for you, which is also in the description. This is not an affiliate link. I don't make any money off of the course sales. The guys at FaderPro were kind enough to offer this promotion through the end of April to Obscure Machines Techno Super Show fans like you. So out of all the FaderPro courses I've reviewed so far, this is the most comprehensive one. You'll start from scratch and end with a completed track in Roger's S-Man style. You get to see his workflow from idea to completion. Alright, let's dive into the course. In chapters 1 through 3, he rewires Ableton into Logic and builds a drum beat in Ableton. Note that even though he uses both DAWs in the beginning, you don't need Ableton and Logic to follow along. You can do the same things in just Logic. He just prefers Ableton for the quickness of certain features and does some extra bouncing for file redundancy. In chapters 4 and 5, he sets up some bus channel strips with presets he's made for certain sounds. This is especially good for workflow in the long run. These are available to you in the project files you can download with the course. In chapter 6, he plays a bass riff in with a MIDI keyboard and quantizes the notes from there. You'll get to see the plugins he uses for the sounds. This is my favorite part because I love the bass riff. Moving on to chapter 7, he goes to a basic arrangement using a subtractive approach, and the skeleton of the track gets laid out quickly. This is really good to see because often, at least for me personally, arranging is the absolute most difficult part. In chapters 8 through 11, Roger adds synths and FX to the arrangement. One interesting note is that one of the synths he used is labeled in Russian, and he specifically says he likes that because he doesn't know exactly what each parameter is or what it does, which leads to making some interesting sounds. He also adds various drum sounds and checks the vibe to make sure everything is good in the track. Moving on to chapter 12, he adds in the vocals, which he wrote himself and recorded on the spot. He has a special mic setup which is unique, which he details as well. From chapters 13 to 14, he does some housekeeping with bouncing out some stems. In chapter 15, he does some vocal edits and glitches. What's crazy is that in the project window, he didn't have any grid lines, which may or may not make the edits more organic, but honestly, it was a bit tedious for me to watch. However, I'm not gonna knock someone else's workflow. Just be aware that you'll have to have an understanding of bars and beats beforehand. In chapters 16 and 17, he adds some James Brown style vocal chops and some synth notes, which add a nice energy to the track. In chapters 19 through 23, Roger adds the massive snare roll to the breakdown and rearranged more of the breakdown and the drop. He massages the drop with more synth elements and drums as well. The final chapter, 24, is a final listen through with a nice closeout from Roger himself. Overall, I do recommend this course because of its completeness. It's particularly good for Logic and Techno novices because he tells you some great shortcuts. For pros, seeing his distilled, unwavering workflow is extremely valuable. The only critiques I have are that some of the chapters were really tedious to watch, like the beginning with the rewiring and the sections with the micro edits. I felt like some of these steps weren't absolutely necessary and can potentially confuse beginners. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Check out the track Dangerous Thoughts and the course as well on FaderPro.com. Remember the promo code in the description as well, which gets you a substantial discount. In upcoming course reviews, we'll be taking a look at the Sander Kleinenberg course from FaderPro and the Rene Amez course from Sonic Academy. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time on the Techno Super Show.